Do you feel completely drained of motivation and energy after your spiritual awakening? Because that's exactly what I experienced after mine. No motivation, no energy, no drive, and it's the same exact challenge that many of my clients face too. Through trial and error, I discovered one simple practice that restored my motivation and boosted my energy. So in this video, I'm going to share the real reasons you are feeling unmotivated and drained and give you a powerful practice to feel motivated again. To start, let me show you the first big challenge you're facing right now. When I was going through my spiritual awakening, I felt exhausted, depleted, and overwhelmed, like I had no energy left for anything beyond simply surviving. And I'm normally somebody who thrives on energy, goals, ambitions. I love working out, I'm really active. And I usually have very clear and ambitious goals that I'm excited to pursue. But during the years of my awakening, even these basic things felt impossible to do. I mean, sure, I still worked out and I was healthy, but it was nowhere near the intensity or consistency that I used to be able to sustain. And honestly, every morning felt like waking up with an empty gas tank. My mind was racing constantly, my sleep was terrible, my body felt dysregulated, and I regularly experienced panic attacks. So I was constantly in a state of fear and hypervigilance. So where in that equation could I possibly find the energy to feel motivated and excited and driven? I mean, at this point, I had no goals left, and all the plans that I once had flew right out the window. And it felt like my life flipped upside down, and my only goal became surviving this chaos and dealing with the triggers and calming my mind and panic attacks and soothing my anxious body. So motivation and goals and ambition, I mean, at that stage, I genuinely forgot what those words even meant. And then, finally, my spiritual awakening came to an end. And what do you think happened? That my motivation and energy immediately returned? Wrong. Because, feeling unmotivated isn't just common during your spiritual awakening, it's especially prevalent after your awakening ends. And in fact, this is one of the things that my clients struggle with most as well. But if your awakening is over, why are you still feeling unmotivated? Here's what it was like for me. When my awakening ended, I kept wondering, what's wrong with me? Why can't I feel excited about anything anymore? Why do I have no motivation for new goals? Before my awakening, I was an actor in New York City, and I also ran my own personal training business. I was ambitious, driven, motivated. I was very focused on achieving these goals and having recognition and better roles and more success and more admiration. But once I started to enter my spiritual awakening, something strange happened. All those dreams and all of those ambitions suddenly felt meaningless. Acting no longer resonated with me. Climbing some kind of a corporate ladder and working for companies felt empty. Even though I kept working for companies for, more years because bills needed to be paid, I woke up every single day feeling empty and disconnected, and I had no excitement, no joy, and no sense of purpose. And deep down, I knew clearly this isn't it. But I also absolutely had no idea what it actually was, because I felt stuck in this strange limbo, unable to find anything that genuinely excited me, and I had no goals. It's not even that I had no goals, but I didn't even know what goals I should be setting in the first place. So if you feel this way right now, lost, unmotivated, directionless, please hear me clearly. You're not lazy and you're not undisciplined and you're definitely not broken. So what's actually happening here? You didn't lose your motivation. You lost something else entirely. You lost your ego-driven motivation. And that's a massive difference. Think of it like you've spent your entire life driving a car fueled entirely by ego, by external validation, approval, and societal expectations. Suddenly, your awakening drained that fuel tank completely. And now you're parked on the side of life's road, confused about why you can't move forward, wondering what's wrong with you. But nothing is actually wrong. You're in what's called this space in between. And it's a very powerful, necessary pause. You've shed the old motivations that were never truly yours to begin with, and now you're recalibrating. Your soul is preparing you to discover deeper and more authentic motivations that align with who you truly are. So what can you actually do while you're in this uncertain stage? Let me show you. Even after your awakening ends, you might still have absolutely no motivation. So what's going on here? You're most likely experiencing what's known as the void. The void is this strange, uncomfortable limbo after an awakening where you're no longer who you used to be, but you're also not yet sure who you're becoming. So you're stuck in this confusing space in between. And think of it like updating software on your laptop or your phone. You know how this works, right? So your device downloads the new update, installs it, and then it needs to reboot. And during this reboot, your screen usually just shows a loading bar and nothing else. Now, imagine if you were looking at your laptop in this moment of rebooting and you started to panic. Oh no, my laptop stopped working. I can't open documents. I can't go on the internet. It's broken. It's just a black screen with a loading bar. You know, my laptop is useless now. I might as well throw it out the window. You wouldn't do that, right? Because you understand exactly what's happening. You know your laptop isn't broken. It's simply updating. So you patiently wait for that progress bar to finish, knowing that your laptop will soon function even better than before. But here's the catch. When it comes to ourselves, we don't show that same patience or understanding. Instead, we panic. We say, something's wrong with me, I'm broken, I'm never gonna feel excited again, I'm never gonna be motivated again. But that's simply not true. You're still updating your new operating system, your new identity, your new updated motivations and goals. They are still loading. And trust me, yes, I get it. It's uncomfortable. I know, because it took me almost 2 full years after my awakening ended before I started to feel these nudges and these sparks of excitement again. So 2 years before I could finally set goals that genuinely inspired me. And this void, this in-between stage between the old me and the new me, it was painfully long. It was very difficult because I'm naturally somebody who's driven and excited and is very goal-oriented. So it felt very unnatural, and it kind of drove me crazy because I just wanted to set goals and be excited again. But here's the thing, as uncomfortable as the void is, it's crucially important. You're exactly where you need to be because you're now recalibrating, you're upgrading, and preparing to step into something far more authentic and aligned than ever before. So is there anything you can actually do while you're stuck in this uncomfortable void? Yes, but I don't think you're going to like my answer. Look, I spent 2 full years in this frustrating directionless phase, and believe me, I wanted out. So if you're currently stuck here, you have no drive, no goals, no motivation, no clear vision, I truly understand how frustrating and confusing and annoying it can be, and you desperately want to feel motivated again. You want clarity, you want goals, you want excitement, you want something to pursue. So is there something that you can do about it? Is there a specific visualization you can do to uncover your next steps? Maybe there's a journaling exercise that reconnects you with what excites you. Is there a meditation that you can do to help you better tune into your soul's, true desires? Well, yes and no. Sure, these exercises can be helpful. They might even bring some clarity. But you know what else they do? They pile even more pressure onto you. They reinforce the idea that you need to hurry up, you need to figure things out, and you just need to take action already and be motivated. So if those aren't the answers, what's the one thing that'll actually help you move through this phase? What's the secret that will finally help you regain genuine motivation and find your next goals? It's probably not what you want to hear, but it's simply allowing yourself to be exactly where you are right now without forcing yourself to escape it. Simply being. And I know you're probably staring at your screen right now thinking, Gabby, Are you kidding me? That's your magical solution, to just sit here in this empty, frustrating, unmotivated state and do nothing? Seriously, Gabby? Fuck you. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And that whole frustrated monologue that you might have just had, I had it too. Because when I worked with a teacher after I finished my spiritual awakening, who helped me navigate it, I reacted the exact same way when she told me this. I said, are you f***ing kidding me? You want me to do nothing about this? You want me to just sit there and be? I absolutely hated hearing it. I resisted it, I fought against it, but here's the thing, it actually worked. She was f***ing right. But is allowing yourself to be in this uncomfortable, unmotivated state actually the key to regaining your motivation and drive? Yes, so let me show you how this works. You're transitioning into a completely new way of being. Before your awakening, your motivation and goals were ego-driven, they were rooted in external validation and expectations. But now your motivation is shifting into something far deeper. Soul-driven goals, goals that come from purpose, from alignment, from deeper values and true fulfillment. But here's the catch. You can't rush this transition. You can't just snap your fingers and say, okay, I figured out my soul's purpose and mission in 7 days. That's not how it works. Instead, think of it as planting a seed. If I showed you this picture right here, would you know exactly what plant this is? Probably not. Okay, how about after a few months? Would you recognize this sprout? Still, probably not. But what about after 3 years when it looks like this? Do you recognize it? If you're thinking right now, oh duh, it's an apple tree, you're exactly right. But notice that it took several years of growth, nurturing, and patience before you could clearly identify it. So this is exactly what's happening to you after your spiritual awakening. You've pulled out the weeds, those old ego-driven motivations, and you've planted new seeds, new ideas, new values, new ways of being. But here's the important part. To discover your next steps, your next motivations, your meaningful goals, your purpose, you absolutely need time. Those seeds that are planted need time to mature. They need nurturing, yes, so they need some water and some sunlight, but mostly they need you to just leave them alone. Imagine planting a seed and then impatiently poking at it every single day saying, come on, hurry up, where are my apples? Why are you not growing? Or constantly uprooting and replanting it every week because you think, okay, maybe this spot is actually better. Oh no, maybe this spot is better. You wouldn't do that, right? You would plant the seed, nurture it gently, and then simply let it grow. You would let it be. And I know you're impatient to see results. You want clarity now, not later. And trust me, I felt the exact same way. But you're transitioning into someone completely new, someone so different that you can't rush it. It takes time. It takes time. It takes months, and sometimes it takes years. So yes, you can do your visualizations, your meditations, your journaling practices, whatever practices you find supportive. But please just stop pressuring yourself to hurry up and figure it out already. Stop forcing yourself to regain motivation and drive immediately. It's not helpful and it doesn't work, and it's also frustrating. So instead, trust the process. You're not lazy, you don't have issues with discipline, you're not permanently unmotivated. You will have goals, you will be excited again, you will have drive again, and they'll feel far more meaningful, aligned, and fulfilling than anything you've experienced before. It just takes a little bit more time and a little bit more patience. So now that you clearly understand your lack of motivation is simply because you've discarded ego-driven goals, do your best to not simply, be in this experience without pressure. But if sitting still feels impossible right now, watch this video next where I show you a powerful practice to help accelerate your awakening.